Where'd you get in that colour?
I dye them every year. Dry them in the linen cupboard.
Isn't that frightfully cruel?
Oh, no, they love it. They love it. Makes them so pretty for each other.
What about their poor little eyes?
Oh, they soon learn to shout them.
The Pursuit of Love was a 1945 novel by Nancy Mitford. Emily Mortimer has updated it in more ways than one. It's a little bit like Bridgerton, where you end up with things that are modern and things that aren't, starring Lily James.
What you can think about it's really rather alarming. Oh!
Gertie, leave her alone. I'm so sorry.
I wanted it not to feel like a sort of dusty kind of story that was about people, girls living in another time, as much as a story that happened to be set in the 1930s, but felt like it could relate to young girls living then or in the 60s or 70s or now even. And I think that the novel has a very kind of punk rock soul. It's a very outrageous book. It talks about very taboo subjects like sort of, you know, bad mothers rejecting their children in a way that is full of kind of, it's very daring and courageous and shocking in a way sometimes too. And the way she talks about sexuality and all of it. And there's a kind of determined lack of earnestness through the whole thing that feels very kind of radical.
The evening was saved from utter disillusionment by a late arrival.
Was Lily in mind as you began this process?
Yes, Lily was always going to be Linda. In fact, Lily came to the process already as Linda, but even before I was asked to do the adaptation, Lily was attached. And I'm so glad she was, because I don't know that there would be anyone else alive that could do that part so brilliantly and effortlessly as she did. And it's a really challenging part because she's a fantastic character, but she's larger than life in lots of ways, and she's quite unknowable in a lot of ways too. And yet you've got to love her and feel a great, you know, sort of sadness at the end because of her. And I feel that Lily has all those qualities. She's sort of such a bright spark of a person, and so full of life and love, and she's also just incredibly you know, just fond making.
Emily, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Flicks with Patrick Stoner explores the craft and culture of filmmaking that enhance our communities for television stations and websites around the country.
I'm Patrick Stoner. Watch more interviews by subscribing to WHYY.